Human insatiable desire for wealth has led to unquantified devastation of the environment. How is Ghana affected by this human greed? What is the state of the country's environment, especially our forests? Join us as we speak to Dr. Edward Wiafe, the Dean of Faculty of Development Studies at the Presbyterian University College, Ghana, as he enlightens us on the state of Ghana's forest reserve.
All right, welcome back once again to PUCG TV.
Thank you.
So today we want to look at the Ghanaian forest situation, and we want to focus our discussion on deforestation. So currently, what is the situation in Ghana in terms of deforestation? Maybe the last 2, 3, 5 years.
Thank you. The rate of deforestation in our country is accelerating, and it is increasing at an alarming rate. And if care is not taken, we will lose all our forests. The menace of deforestation, for that matter, the deliberate removal of trees from its natural areas, is not the thing of today. It started as far back as colonial era, and at the beginning of the 20th century, Ghana was able to boast of 8.1 million hectares of forests, but 100 years over, it has reduced to 2.1 million, which is though the areas are classified as forests, it is not biologically functioning as such. Between 1990 and 2000, Ghana lost about 135 hectares of forests. And if you calculate annual rate of deforestation, it was about 2%. And in that case, between 1990 and 2005, Ghana lost about 25% of its forest. And this is around 1.9 million hectares.
So, primarily, what have been the causes to this deforestation at this exponential rate?
Deforestation rate has been accelerated due to high population increase. The population increase is not linear. It's not like every 2 years, 2 people will add up. It is increasing at an exponential rate, like 2 raised to the power 2 times 2 raised to the power 3 times 2 raised to the power. So if you draw a curve, it will just be a sharp increase like that. Then somewhere along the line, there was the change of ownership of the forest resources in the country. The colonial master wanted to take the forests, or at that time the government wanted to take over our forests, and there was a dispute between the local authority and the colonial master at that time. So the case went to the Queen, and she ruled in favor of the local chiefs. So the governor then changed the approach that now the forest will be managed in trust for the people.
Okay.
So even though you have a tree on your land, the land is yours, but the tree is not yours. So if you are a farmer, it looks like you are hosting government tree, and you see government property, whose property? So people destroy the tree at a younger age, or if they can utilize it as firewood, then they will use it. In 1983, for instance, a study that was taken on firewood alone indicated that the volume of firewood that was harvested in Ghana is 12 times that of timber. So you can imagine how firewood alone is causing deforestation, because you only need a small cutlass and cut trees as firewood, or you convert it to charcoal, and they are still using it in the country without replacement. The booming cocoa industry is also another thing that is causing deforestation, because you have to clear the forest before you can cultivate your cocoa. And the government is encouraging cocoa cultivation at the expense of the forest. So that is also another cause. Forest programs, afforestation and reforestation programs, is also causing, as the managers of the forest want to have more trees, then those efforts can land in forest destruction. The example is the Tonja system that is going on at the moment. The government will give the forest land to the people to plant their crops, and the government will plant the trees. But as the greedy ones want to farm there always, they will not support the growth of the trees. They will destroy it so that next year they can still farm on the same piece of land. Mining has also caused a lot of deforestation. I mean, our country was called Gold Coast, so we lived with mining for a long time. Pit crops are trees that were used to support the platform of the underground mining. And during that time, they were cutting a lot of trees to support the platform of mining. And as the moment there's technology for it to stop, surface mining took over. And surface mining is clearing a lot of forests than the rate at which we are planting the forest. Our law enforcement too has been weakened. The forest laws are not being enforced, because now you can't even, or the forest guards available are not equipped to withstand the current sophisticated weapons that the forest, the deforesters are using. You understand? So, and the number two is so small that they cannot overcome them. What forestry is doing now is to just attack those who have been able to cut the wood and transporting it. But why do you wait for the tree to be destroyed before you arrest the person? Another thing that we've not also considered is hunting. Hunting is going on uncontrolled in most of our forest areas. And this, one may ask, how can hunting affect the forest? We've discovered now that our forest is suffering from empty. It is termed as empty forest syndrome. This means that there are forests without animals. And when a forest is there without any animal, the forest die out, because there wouldn't be any animals to do pollination, dispersal of seeds, and other forest ecosystem activities. So these are just the few causes that, the few things that we can talk about now to cause deforestation in our country.
What about education? Are our local people well informed about the devastating nature of deforestation on our social life?
Our local people knows better than
It's
it's because they live with the forest, stay with the forest. But the problem is, the people are becoming greedy so much that they host these people who make money out of the forest. So, yes, and as for education, they know, but what they would have wished is to get the support of the law enforcement agencies, especially the forest guards. Yes.
So, with the current state of deforestation, what are the present socioeconomic effects, those that we can say we are now experiencing, that we will need to deal with?
So there are a lot of repercussions on the environment and also on livelihood patterns of the people. On the environment, we can think of the global warming because the duty of the forest is to absorb the carbon dioxide and methane gases that goes to destroy the ozone layer. So if the forest is not there, then this function is lacking. And now because of the industrialization, we have more gases coming out because everybody is using a car. Um, but it is only the forest that can absorb these gases. And if the forest is no more there, then we can continue to absorb, to feel the heat from the ozone layer. In addition to that, then there is great loss of biodiversity. Many species are going extinct, both plants and animals. And we are recording a lot of trees like um, Kako, Lophilia anata, um, Cocrodia, Pericopsis elata, and other species that used to be abundant here, and now you can't find them. Many animals too are going extinct. Then, on the other side of the livelihood, we remember that there were so many employment timber companies in our country, and as the raw material is getting finished, then they are laying their workers off. So many timber companies or many plywood manufacturing companies have collapsed because there's no raw material to support them. And this has affected the livelihood of many families. Our soils have also been devastated because the soils here, the forest ochrosols and forest oxysols are very fragile. The nutrients in the soil are easily leached the moment you remove the forest on top. Our water bodies are also drying up because the places where the forests were created contains rocks that have the ability to absorb water and release it gradually. These are called aquifers. The number one enemy of the aquifers is evaporation. So if you remove the forest, then you expose the aquifers to evaporation and it loses its aquiferous characteristics. So sometimes we say in our local area that when the town expands to the river, it vanishes.
Okay.
The river doesn't vanish, but we have impacted on the watershed, on the rocks that have the ability to absorb water and release it gradually. Then excessive erosion too, because when rain drops come, we have two types. One is free fall and one is through fall. Now, the difference between the two is the free fall will just go direct to the soil with all the gravity, energy that is coming. And it has the ability to dissociate the soil from binding from each other and cause erosion. But the through fall will trickle down the leaf of the tree will intercept it. You see?
Yeah.
And then trickle it down to the soil. So by the time it gets to the soil, it has lost its energy and it doesn't dissociate the soil particle anymore. So the more we remove our forest, the more we encourage free fall raindrops.
Now, what is the way forward? What are some of the practical things that we can do in the short term to handle this deforestation situation? And then probably in the middle term also, what can we do as people?
All hope is not lost yet. I didn't talk about poverty.
Uh-huh.
All that I was saying is gearing towards poverty. And we should, in most of the poverty alleviation programs that we have in the country, we should focus on reforesting the deforested areas. We should plant forests at places that had no forest, and places that had forest and had been degraded should be rehabilitated. We should also encourage people to plant more trees. In fact, our weather, our soils are so good to accommodate any tree that we plant. So even the communal lands, like along the footpath, along the roadside, on our farms, everybody should plant a tree. We should also eat more vegetarian foods, more vegetables than the bushmeat that we like so much. If we change our taste, if we concentrate on more of the herbs, then the animals can multiply and then encourage natural regeneration in the forest. Also go paperless. It's time we stop using paper. Yes, we should go paperless. If I write any formal report, my boss should be able to accept it electronically as a normal report. You see, we should go paperless and reduce the number of trees that we cut. Yes. Yeah. And now gases are available. You can also go away from the firewood and use more gas. Yeah, but if you go to the industrial food cookers, they still use firewood. Tobacco companies still use firewood. Cement factories, they still use firewood without planting. You see. So the ecotourism is also another non-invasive venture that we can utilize our forest for. For ecotourism, and people should start loving nature and utilize the forest in the ecotourism sector. If you go to the forest, you go pay money to the local people, observe the beauty of the forest, enjoy the calls of the birds and other animals, and go back. Another person will come, pay the same money, and go back. But in timber, one person will only cut the tree and make money for himself. Yes, and that will in turn destroy the forest as well.
The issue of trying to reduce the use of firewood for other alternatives, will it not also come down to the poverty issue that we raised? If people cannot afford the other alternatives that we have, then it means that they will still go back to the firewood. So, what do you think can be done, probably in the middle term, interest to reduce the use of firewood?
Firewood is expensive.
Really?
It's very expensive.
Because when you go to the village, they cut it for free.
Yes, but in the long run, it becomes expensive. They sell and use the surplus.
Okay.
And even people at the villages, if it is available, they would have used gas than firewood. You see, one thing that Ghanaians we have to notice that we cannot drink poison from a golden cup.
Okay.
The fact that the cup is so good, if you put poison in it and drink it, it will so die. You see, it's time we realize that deforestation affects almost everything. And if we joke with it, now the savannah is still expanding. And it is expanding at the expense of our forest. It is, for that matter, it has affected our rainfall pattern. Our seasons has also changed. So we don't have to joke with it because we are poor. No, no.
So, as a faculty, once you've mounted this program to help support our forest and to also maintain life, so to speak, has a faculty taken measures in support of what the government is doing, what the local people are also doing to ensure that we reclaim the forest, our forest that we have already lost?
The Faculty of Development Studies under the Presbyterian College has embarked on so many activities to curb down this deforestation issue. The first one is public education.
Okay.
And we've decided, or we are embarking on every month at every Saturday, first Saturday of every month, we walk to Pediasi Hills to meet people who are embarking on physical exercise with placards and educational materials to educate them on the need to conserve the forest resources, especially the mountainous areas, because people move from Accra every weekend to observe the hills and also exercise their body. And the rate at which estate developers are destroying the forest on the hills is so alarming. So we've decided to carry out these regular education programs there. In addition, we also sorted for funds from Critical Ecosystem Partnership through BirdLife International to also conserve the extinction of endangered primates in our country. So this activity is also ongoing, where we've surveyed the monkeys in Tanofin, Atiwa, and Cape Three Points Forest Reserve. And what we are doing now is to embark on education of the people living around these communities. Already we've educated about 45 policemen, law enforcement agencies actually, policemen, BNI, fire service, who are stationed around the forest on forest and wildlife laws of the country. And from there, we also educated teachers in about 30 schools surrounding these forests to equip them to also inculcate that in their teaching and the culture of the school. Our next activity is to embark on road march floats and public deba in communities around these forests, which is the activity that we are going to embark in May.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.